This critter belongs to the family of cockroach wasp.
This one is misidentified.
Not unlike the previously mentioned Dementor Wasp.
It is very different than the previously mentioned Dementor Wasp because this is not a cockroach wasp. This is a cuckoo wasp. Hello, my beautiful and intellectually curious love bugs. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy. I'm an entomologist, which means that I study bugs. And normally I am doing ecotourism in Ecuador focused on insects, but obviously that isn't happening. So welcome to my YouTube channel. You bugs seem to really like when I do these debunking videos. So here we are again doing more debunking because the internet needs to be less afraid of our insect overlords that make up 58% of the biodiversity on the planet. So today's fodder is 17 weird, scary insects by Epic Wildlife with 1.3 million subscribers. I'm not quite there yet. So if you want to help a girl out, feel free to like this video, subscribe, and be sure that bell icon is ticked. All right, let's do it. Today's entomology word of the day is cursorial leg, so you're just gonna have to keep watching the video to find out what that word means.
From creepy crawling bugs to the massive Hercules Beetle, here are 17 weird and terrifying insects.
Hercules beetles are harmless. Weird maybe? I mean, they're not even weird. Beetles make up 20% of the biodiversity on the planet, as I mentioned in my last video. Card up there. So like there's 400,000 beetles and they make up more than any other animal on the planet. So theoretically, by numbers, monkeys are weird. And yeah, beetles are not weird. Anyway, they also can't hurt you. They eat fruit. They're very cute. Adorbs.
Welcome to Weird Wonders Wednesday. So a shout out to Caitlin letting us know that she and her first grade class like Epic Wildlife and made a request for this particular episode involving the weird insects and whatnot. So
the first thing we're gonna do is like show first graders and use the word terrifying so that way we have a generation of students who grow up and are afraid of insects. Awesome.
Fire ants. There are actually almost 300 different species of this ant worldwide. Known for their aggressiveness, fire ants can repeatedly sting animals and humans, and can attack in groups that consist of...
So, fire ants are in the genus Solenopsis. There are a lot of them. The one that's the problem in the United States is the red imported fire ant. And this picture where he's saying like they attack in groups is actually a picture of fire ants that have made a raft. They can survive flooding by literally making a raft of their bodies, their living bodies, and ants that are on the bottom will rotate up to the top. So that way no ant is left behind and drowns and the entire colony survives the flood. It makes sense because they're originally from South America where we have really heavy rainy seasons where flooding does happen. So this is a really cool environmental adaptation that they have.
Hundreds of the insects. Stings are not lethal unless you happen to be allergic to the ant's venom, and it's estimated that perhaps 1% of the human population is hypersensitive to that venom. Allergic reactions can be fatal, however, and if multiple stings are received, even a healthy person could suffer severe reactions like anaphylactic shock.
Anaphylactic shock mainly happens if you are one of those people that is allergic, and if you are allergic to insect stings, fire ant, honeybees, whatever, then you should be carrying an EpiPen with you because they can be fatal. However, for most people, you can get a whole bunch of stings and it will hurt, but you're going to be okay. The venom of the fire ant is actually really interesting because it's made up of alkaloids, which you usually find in plants and are usually poisons. And we use a lot of alkaloids in medicine, but because the fire ant is injecting it, it's technically a venom, and that's what's causing the burning sensation.
Antlion. There are about 2,000 antlion species found about the globe, and the larvae will consume ants, which is where they get the fearsome name. The more mature insects will refine the taste with pollen and nectar, although some species will prey on small arthropods. In North America, the larvae are known as doodlebugs due to the odd markings left in the sand.
That's not even the coolest part. Okay, first of all, that is the larva. So that's what the larva looks like. And on screen, I'll put in an adult antlion. They kind of look like drunk dragonflies flying around. Anyway, They have such a cool behavior. They create those pits. You are in no danger from these whatsoever. They create these pits and ants fall into them. This larva was actually the inspiration for the Sarlacc monster in Star Wars. And my friend Joni and I did a whole video at DragonCon about how aliens are inspired by insects. If you want to watch that video, check the card up there. But what's so cool is that these antlions will actually like throw dirt at the ants as they're coming into the pit, because sometimes the ants can escape, but the antlions will throw dirt at them and makes the ant fall into the jaws of the antlion that's hiding below. These pictures of the antlion is what they look like when they're outside of their burrow. You would never find them like this. It's a lot easier to find them by those characteristic pits, usually in sandy soil. What is the weirdest insect you've ever seen, and why did you think it was so weird? Let me know in the comments, or if you're afraid of any insects, just like let me know, because I'm really happy to explain why that animal looks the way it does and what it's using those adaptations for.
Wheelbug, reaching up to 1.5 inches long as adults, this is one of North America's biggest terrestrial bugs. Wheelbugs are known to use the beak to inject venom that dissolves the insides of the victims.
Their victims are other arthropods. They're predators.
Given the victims are soft-bodied prey to begin with, their meals must have the consistency of a Slurpee.
We've talked about this before in other videos linked up here. They have extra oral digestion. That's how it works. If you pick them up and scare them, they will bite you and it will hurt, but other than that, you are in no danger.
Mosquitoes.
Again, we've talked about the mosquito. One of the most deadly animals besides murdering humans, I think, is literally what the list says.
Botfly. Since botflies comprise several varieties, we'll focus on the human botfly, which has a nasty story to tell. They'll lay the eggs on any insect that will try landing on a human being, such as a mosquito.
Usually
Once
mosquitoes.
the carrier deposits those eggs on the victim's skin, body heat will cause them to hatch. The larvae then burrow into the host's skin and take up residence there, eating and living right there. The eggs can actually grow anywhere in the human body, depending upon where they're deposited, which means a botfly could even dig a path straight into your brain.
There's like one story about one that was deposited close to the person's like face, like in the face region, and they could hear the botfly.
The BBC Natural History Unit reports the case of a man who was bitten behind the ear and kept awake at night by the sound of the botfly larva eating the flesh inside his head.
It cannot get into your brain. That is not true, because your brain has a skull around it, and while these can go into your flesh, they cannot go through your bone. So if you get a botfly, normally you kind of notice the area is a little bit raised and irritated, and you can put a piece of tape over it and just kind of suffocate the larva. They leave a little hole in your skin so they can breathe. That's what they do. If you're interested in rearing out your botfly, which is a badge of honor amongst entomologists, I highly recommend checking out Peter Naskracky's blog about it, where he documented the whole process of him rearing out his botfly.
Assassin bug. They're also called kissing bugs because they have a habit of biting humans on the facial lips. The bite is capable of transmitting a parasite that can result in Chagas disease. Now
This is not the Chagas bug. We have talked about this. This one always makes it into these videos, and every single time, like, that is not the one. The one is in the family Triatominae. They look completely different. They have elongated heads. It is not whatever assassin bug is just going to bite you on the face for no reason. No, it is a specific one. If you live in the United States, you have almost no chance of getting it because they like to live in birds' nests and tend to get associated with people when they have thatched roofing. So you can watch this video up here where I explain it a lot better, but we've been through this before.
the ninja-like method of attacking enemy insects in a sudden and lethal manner by using the razor-sharp beaks to impale the victims and kill them.
So this video is confusing the biology and lifestyle of the Chagas bugs, which feed on blood, and the biology of different assassin bugs, which feed on insects. They have completely different lifestyles, and they are not the same.
House centipede. These scary looking critters can measure up to 4 inches long and have some 15 pairs of long legs, which enables them to move at surprising speeds.
They're actually one of the fastest centipedes. Those really long legs like that are called cursorial legs, and cursorial legs aid the arthropod or insect in running. They are actually very good to have around your house because they eat cockroaches and a whole bunch of other stuff that you don't want in your house. So leave them be. They're not going to bite you in the middle of the night. They're not scary. I think they're pretty. Look at those little beautiful stripy legs. Very cute. Very pretty.
Dementor Wasp. This species of cockroach wasp was first documented in 2014 and
If you want your scientific paper where you have named an insect to gain any traction, name it after something in pop culture or someone famous. So these are the Dementors from Harry Potter. Good branding strategy.
it is so scary that scientists actually named it after the demons in the Harry Potter books.
They didn't do that because it was scary. They did that so that way their paper would get read.
It's native to Thailand and measures up to 10.9 millimeters long. The insect is called a cockroach wasp because of its unusual behavior toward cockroaches. When it stings its prey, a toxin is released that leaves the cockroach alive but unable to control its movements. That allows the wasp to more easily capture the roach and direct it to its nest, where it's used for the wasp's larvae to feed off of.
Cockroach wasps are so interesting, and I could do a whole video on it. So if you're interested in learning about how these wasps manipulate their cockroaches, leave me a comment down below. Because really, it's so cool. They literally hijack the free will. So the cockroach can run away. It'll flip over if it's been scared. It will swim if you throw it in water. It can do all those things. The cockroach has basically removed the want to do so, and that allows the wasp to drag it to its burrow and lay its eggs on it. It's such an interesting example of host manipulation, and the more we can understand what this wasp is doing, the better we can understand brain chemistry in general and our own brain chemistry. So super cool. I'd love to do a video on it. Let me know if you'd be interested.
Jewel wasp. This critter belongs to the family of cockroach wasps.
This one is misidentified. I don't know. This is like the second video that has misidentified this. This is a cuckoo wasp. They are called cuckoo wasps because of their behavior where they are brood parasites. They are not attacking cockroaches. They are not attacking you. And this is not the right species.
Not unlike the previously mentioned Dementor wasp.
It is very different than the previously mentioned Dementor wasp because this is not a cockroach wasp. This is a cuckoo wasp. Cockroach wasps are in the family Ampulicidae, whereas cuckoo wasps are in the family Chrysitidae. Again, they're very different. Yes, they are in the same order. Yes, they're wasps. But it's again saying something like a tiger is a house cat. Tigers and house cats are not the same animal. And if you have a tiger in your house, you better have a Netflix show about it or get it back in the wild where it belongs. So worked up.
Giant water. Now this one sure does look intimidating.
I want to see one so bad. I saw this cute picture like a long time ago of like one person had it in their hand and they're like feeding it a carrot like a rabbit. Adorable.
But it doesn't have the same scary behavior as some of the other insects on the list. Still, the wetter's sheer size is enough to give people the Jim jabs. Found in New Zealand.
That must be an Australian thing, brah. Or I'm guessing you're from Australia. I don't know, Australia or New Zealand. That is definitely your slang. The Jim jams? The heebie-jeebies, maybe? Let me know what you, in your country, if you're not from the United States or Australia or New Zealand, wherever this guy is from, what you guys call the Jim Jams or the heebie-jeebies. I love culture. So fun.
Hercules Beetle. Now, as you take a look at this picture, it looks as if someone is holding a type of alien life form.
This is the pupa. Almost never see them like this because they are usually very well protected in the pupal stage. They're so fragile in this stage. So you never see them like this. You only see them when they emerge as the adult. And the larva, beetles go through complete metamorphosis just like butterflies do. So they have a grub or a larva, they have this pupal stage or the cocoon, and then they emerge as the beetle. This is the middle stage that you never see and no one ever talks about.
The oblong shape and orange coloration, along with the bizarre horn-like pincers extending from the body, convinced many people that this was an extraterrestrial species. And video actually shows the object wriggling and writhing around in a creepy fashion.
They move. It's alive. I don't know why this startles people so much. I have a video planned because butterfly chrysalises also move, and cocoons and pupa of many different insects with complete metamorphosis wiggle and move because they're alive, and if something's about to eat them, they're not just gonna sit there and not do anything.
Hercules Beetle. It's in the third stage of the larva's life as it morphs.
Pupa.
But the strange life form is actually the larva of the aptly named...
No. Larvae go through a thing called instars, where the larva will grow up from one instar to the next. It's just basically, it just looks like a little grub, and then it looks like a bigger grub, and then a bigger grub, and then it morphs into the cocoon, or the pupal stage. Like a butterfly has a caterpillar and then goes into the chrysalis stage. This is the same thing. It's a completely different life cycle. It is not the larva anymore. It is the pupal. These are holometabolous insects and have complete metamorphosis
into an adult beetle, and it'll stay dormant within that cocoon as it develops its exoskeleton
now you said the word
within.
cocoon.
Did you know the Hercules beetle grows more than 6.5 inches long and can weigh around 3 ounces? By the way, if you think they look weird at this stage of the life, they start off looking like a huge yellow worm, big enough to nearly fill up a human hand. But
beetle, that's just kind of how beetle larvae look. Most of them do look like that. It actually has its own word. It means scarabaeiform, which means beetle scarab grub looking thing.
But as adults, they really do look like a fearsome alien species made out of metal and can lift objects around 850 times the body weight.
Yeah, it's really cool. The males are the ones that have those really big horns, and they literally grab another male in those and throw them off the log, the tree, the whatever. The males are doing this to show how strong they are and compete for females. If you are a male and you can throw everyone else off your log, you are king of the log and then get to mate with all the ladies. That is what their biology is. So I'm really frustrated with these videos that are oh my god, look at how weird these weird structures are, and then don't talk about why the arthropod is using them in their everyday life. They're not gonna bite you with them. They can't bite you with them. There's pictures of people just holding them because they just the most dangerous part on this animal is that the fact that it has these big claws on its feet that it uses to climb up trees. But they do not feel comfortable on your skin because your skin is not bark, which is what they should be trying to climb up with those little tarsal claws. They have 2 of them. They look like this, not like this, like this. Welcome to... Snort. Oh my God. Welcome to Nancy's entomology lessons in morphology. Whew. Well, love bugs, I hope that you liked this video of Nancy getting way too worked up. If you liked this video, don't forget to like it. If you didn't like it anyway and send it to someone who might like it. Otherwise, if you like learning about bugs like this, feel free to subscribe and click that bell icon so that way you are always notified when I post, which is every single week. Yay! If you are interested in other commentary videos, you should check out this playlist here. And if you are interested in learning more about kind of the nitty gritty about entomology or some cool entomology things, you can see the playlist Entomologist Explains down here. And I will see you all next week. Bye.